Hey, Tony Gas here, just popping in. Now listen, I just want to talk to the men right now because a lot of y'all is being finessed. A lot of y'all men are being finessed by gold digging women and by loose booty women. And a lot of times it's good guys who really, a good woman deserves you, but you don't know what a Jezebel spirit is. When you're dealing with a woman, it is very, very imperative. And yes, some of this could go both ways, but I'm just talking one way right now. So stay out the comments talking about, oh, this go both ways. Hush, we're not talking about that. Be quiet, thank you. And so when you're dealing with a woman, you gotta look at her resume. You got to look at her relationship resume. And you gotta see, okay, this woman, how has she lived her life? How has she moved around? Because it's different implications historically, physically, spiritually, because even God at one point allowed men to have multiple women. So that was God saying that, hey, in this season, we need men to populate the earth. So I'm gonna put something in a man that makes him desire a bunch of women. Now that later changed when men received a savior, and that savior has renewing power. And then we were instructed to be with one woman because there was no longer a need for a man to be impregnating multiple women. And so this is what has to be understood. What you also have to understand is different implications, because a man is depositing. So a man is depositing into a woman, but a woman is receiving. And so being that the woman is receiving herpes. The woman is receiving chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV. Every time a woman opens her legs for a man, she is risking getting pregnant and being left to herself, by herself, to raise a child. So there are women who have multiple children and they are a single mother because the man did not uphold his end of the bargain. And so it is far more risky for a woman to have sex than it is for the man, because yes, the man can catch an STD. Yes, the man can form a soul tie, but the man can deposit and dip. He could deposit and dip, and then the woman, she left with that baby. She can go put him on child support, but the man don't have to pay child support. He could run from the law. The man could quit his job, work under the table. And guys do that. It's a lot of men who quit their job and work under the table just so that they don't have to pay child support. And they jump through hoops to do it. And so what you got to realize is, because a woman has so much more risk, if you meet a woman and this woman has sold her body, this woman done sold her body for money, this woman done, she done slept around, and she only deal with a certain caliber of man, and she go and she have a baby by this caliber of man, and then she come over to you, and you this same caliber of man, and she trying to have a baby with you, meaning she willing to have sex unprotected outside of marriage, and she already done had a baby with a man of your same caliber outside of marriage. Now that says something about her. It's a desperation. It's a lack of self-love. And so you have to look at that, and even if she mean good, you still got to pay attention to it, and you got to say, okay, this woman has already had a child from another man, and she seemed like, a good person. She carried herself like a classy person, but she done already had a child from another man, and now she coming to me and she's willing to do the same thing all over again. Like, she's coming to me and she's willing to get pregnant all over again because she's willing to have unprotected sex. Now it tells you something about the state of that woman's mind and where she at. And so you as a man, if you are dumb enough to have sex with her unprotected, and this is not your wife, you're going to get her pregnant, and then you're going to have to be taking care of her or paying child support. And that is what you get because you did not use your head that is on your shoulders. So listen, you have to stop being so lustful. And the reason why y'all is getting finessed is because you addicted to pornography and masturbation. So because you like, bro, you got the right of way. So what are you doing? Like, just try. So because you addicted to pornography and masturbation, when you see a woman with a big butt and a smile, it don't matter if she have 8 kids, you trying to dive off in there because you want to make what you've been watching on TV, on your cell phone, on your laptop, on your TV, you want to make that a reality. And this is how you getting finessed, which truthfully you finessing yourself. Another thing what you have to realize is if you know that you have been seen as or treated as looks challenged throughout your life, and now all of a sudden you have money or you have status, and let's say it wasn't looks challenged, let's say you just was very quiet and shy, socially awkward, socially distant, whatever it may be. If you know that women throughout your life have not checked for you, because when you have that thing that women like, you're gonna have it from being a little boy. You're gonna have that from being a little boy. And because what women like in a grown man is what girls is gonna like in a boy. So you're gonna have that. If you don't have that, that's not something that you grow into. I hate to tell you. Yes, you got you a beard. Yes, you got muscles. Yes, you got some money, but you still the same guy on the inside. So now when this woman who looked like a stripper, she looked like a model, she looked like a beauty queen, she looked like all of this, when she come to you and you know this caliber of woman, this type of woman has never wanted you, don't start smelling yourself. Don't start feeling yourself and like, oh, I'm him. Oh, I made it. Oh, I'm that guy. No, you are still the same guy that got overlooked in middle school and high school, and this woman is coming to use you for the stability of your job, for the income that you're making right now, because people are attracted to who they attracted to. So this woman was not attracted to Future, and now all of a sudden she attracted to you, and you is the complete opposite. People have their types, people have their styles, people like what they like. So that's what you have to realize. And most women that I talk to, they honest about their types. But when a woman get desperate and she tired of failing, that type go out the window. That type go out the window. But most women, 90% of women cannot get beyond their type. They can't. They will be single as a dollar bill, and will stay single as a dollar bill until they find a type. Tony, he got to have a hairline. Tony, he got to be 6 feet tall. Tony, he got to make 75,000. Tony, he got to be this. He got to be that. And it's like, well, my goodness, like, okay, you see all of that, you ain't found it yet, and you've been looking for 50 years. So at some point, you're gonna have to realize you just need somebody with a dang-a-lang and a heartbeat. Like, it's all this out here is out the window now, because all this extra stuff don't matter. But see, the women who let that go out the window is women who either is very mature, which that is very rare for a woman to be very beautiful and very mature. You rarely not, that's a rarity. That's gonna be 1 out of 25 at the best, but really 1 out of 50 to 1 out of 100. That a woman who you think is very beautiful. Now, she might be beautiful in the sight of the Lord. She might be beautiful in the sight of her mama. But a woman who you think is very beautiful, for her to be very beautiful and very mature, it's rare, because the more beautiful a person is, the more life caters to them and the more life spoils them. Because when somebody is seen as beautiful, they get advantages, that other people don't get. They get to skip the line at the club. They get extra food in the cafeteria. They get all the Valentines from 10 different people in school. They get a lot of extra stuff. So what it does is it changes their natural personality, and it makes them feel entitled. It gets them to where they greedy. It gets them to where they selfish. They just want certain things, want it a certain way. And it's because they've been catered to their whole life because of their facial features and structure or what have you. And so that's what you have to realize and understand about this here is don't punt outside of your coverage, in the sense of don't play out your league. Know your league. Know your league. If you in the G League, you don't need nobody from the NBA. Know your league so that you don't get finessed. And then when a woman wants you before you got money, and the main way finessing is happening is when guys get money. When guys get money or they get clout, status, connections, that's when y'all are getting finessed. You could look at my wife and say my wife is beautiful. You could think my wife beautiful all you want to. But my wife got with me when I had nothing in my pocket but lint. That's how I know I ain't get finessed. And you see my wife beautiful, but my wife is like wine. She get more beautiful with every year that passes. My wife, when I met her, we was on the same level. But see, I'm more like soda that you know, get real cold and you take out the refrigerator and you take the top off of it and it go flat. So I'm more like soda, my wife more like wine. So that's why she looked better than me now. But when we met, we was the same level because I was 170 pounds. I'm 210 pounds now. I was 170 pounds. I had an 8-pack of abs. I had 2 cell phones. I had a brand new car. I had my own apartment. So on our level as college students, my daddy was a pastor. I was doing great. I was doing amazing. So that's what you have to realize and understand. Whereas, and at that time too, my wife, you know, she had a little bit of stomach on her. You know how a woman sit down and have them 2-3 rolls. She had a little bit of stomach on her. She did not have booty. And so we was the same level because I'm under 6 foot tall. I got a big head. So we were the same level. So that's what you got to realize and understand about this here thing. Is when you meet a woman, when you ain't got nothing to offer her but your looks, but your talk game, but all that right there, now you onto something. But when you get with a woman, y'all gotta forgive me, eyebrows be going crazy, man. My wife be picking on me. It's like, boy, your eyebrow be having a whole conversation. Oh, it's not woman. But see, now when you mess around and you get with a woman who you got money, and now she is something you've never had. And this happens to men across the board. It happened to men in corporate. It happened to men across the board. Men get finessed by these women, and they going, and next thing you know, voila. So listen, if you confused and you want to know, because I tell you, I done talked to a lot of my little homeboys, and I say, look, brother, you know, she see you as a little ugly. She see you as a little ugly. She do not see you on her level. And that's why she talk down to you. That's why she running you like she running you, because she don't think you on her level, and she think you ought to be happy to, you know, drink her dirty bath water. And that's why you getting treated how you being treated. So you need to understand that is this type of woman would have never wanted you before you became a millionaire or a 100,000-aire. You got to understand that and be real with yourself about that. And that's what I try to get these guys to understand. So, hey, it's Tony Gaskin. Get this in your spirit. Get your mind right. And we're going to be in touch.